Hello everybody, welcome to this session. So in this session, we're going to talk about PCI DSS compliance in the cloud. My name is Simon Lee. I'm a business development manager here at AWS, and I'm here with Elva. Elva is the co-founder of GetPaid. So Elva, can you tell us a little bit about GetPaid?
Okay, thank you, Simon. And we are GetPaid. We are established in 2014, and we are a payment facilitator in Hong Kong. We are providing our payment service to most likely is the SME in Hong Kong. Because in the past, most of the old players like bank, I think they don't care about the SME markets. Maybe the cost is very high, something like that. And so we see this is a synergy that we provide a all-in-one payment solution to the SME. And now we're providing Visa, MasterCard, and Alipay, WeChat Pay, and also for the next is UnionPay, KCB, and also Octopus, AE, something like that. We all-in-one all this kind of gateway into one platform, so the SME can accept e-payment easier than in the past. So this what we are doing. We are doing offline face-to-face payment and also online. And we most likely is providing an omni-channel payment platform to the merchants. So let them, some of the merchants, maybe they have online store, and at the same time they will have their own retail store. But in the past, the data cannot be connected. So now we combine all of the gateway into one platform, so the merchant can easier to manage all of their payment data, so they can use these kinds of data to make their business better, something like that. So now this is some number of GetPaid. Now we have more than 1,000 merchant, wow, SME in Hong Kong for after we launched Visa and MasterCard business in September last year.
So you're growing at a very fast pace.
Yes, it's just a few months.
Yeah.
So we have more than 1,000. And in the past, we acquired for Alipay first. And at that time, our Alipay and WeChat Pay solution already deployed to more than 3,000 merchants in the past. And it's not counting the taxi driver and mass market.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the roadmap, what we are doing. We in the first few years, we are developing our system between 2015 to 2017, and then we grow up very fast, and we are the first non-bank institution who get Visa and MasterCard payment facilitator license in 2019. And at that time, we all-in-one Visa, MasterCard, and also Alipay, WeChat Pay into one machine and platform and deliver it to the SME.
Yeah.
And we are most likely is focusing the SME. Of course, we have some large merchant, but we are more focusing in SME market.
Sure.
So this is something like what we are doing. I would like to introduce the most important thing is we are mostly focusing on omni-channel, because in the past maybe the retail can accept different kinds of payment, but those data cannot be connected, and I have mentioned before. And now we are providing a payment service, and we are building something like a corporate wallet to our merchant. In the future, maybe we are not only accept the payment, we can let the merchant or business pay out also.
I see.
Not only just receive. We provide them something like a bank account functions.
Yeah.
And this is our vision.
Yeah.
And what our vision is, we are most likely is caring the community. For example, we are not only providing them service. I see them as a partner or my friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will visit my merchants, and we will help them to give them some advice. We are doing something like AWS. Because AWS also as a partner, not only a client, AWS will providing us some advice how we can develop our business, and because we see that some of the SME do not know how to be innovative. We always have some education to our merchant how to use the transaction data to let their business grows faster, or how they can use their transaction data to show what is the status of their business.
Yeah.
In the future, we will have more and more solutions to let them have a very efficient and a very good experience to handle the payment and their money.
Yeah. So how would you describe the business in the payment solution market, or your competition, right? So you mentioned you're the first non-bank institution to get these certifications. What is the most important factor to your business success?
I think it's flexibility. Because in the past, for the bank solution, it's just I sell you a machine or device and you use it to accept e-payment. The bank will not have any changes to let the service more suitable for their business nature. But now we are more flexible, and we always customize some solution to some industry, something like the taxi industry, some wet market industry, some SME. SME is very complicated because every store, every merchant have their own business role. Yes. For example, the chain store, maybe they have their ERP. They're running their business in a standard, but SME is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are very flexible. Yeah, they are also flexible.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So and also what is the important thing is we are more focusing on the security. At first, we already get the PCI DSS in 2017. When we build up the system, when I'm designing the system, I'm more focusing on security. I decided the system based on security guideline and something like the PCI DSS and ISO 27001, so that we are more stronger than the other players and the bank, because in Hong Kong, company who can hold to these compliance and standards, I think is not more than 20 companies.
Wow.
Even bank cannot hold these two standard and compliance and at the same time.
Wow.
Yes, most of the bank only have the PCI but not ISO 27001. So that we as a FinTech company, FinTech startup, we think that security is the important thing, because we can see the old player in the past. In 2017, there are travel agency, data leakage, and in the past, some chain store have the data leakage because they storing some cardholder data in their database, something like that. So that we are more focusing on security, how to protect the cardholder data and the merchant data.
Yeah.
And they will use more in a very good way to maintain their transactions.
Sure. So you've mentioned that as a fintech you have to move very fast, but also one of the advantages you have is being very secure. So in the traditional IT world, we see the two being a bit of a competition. Can you talk a little bit about what is PCI DSS and what is ISO 27001?
Let me introduce what is PCI first. And the PCI requirement is what how to protect the cardholder data. They're more focusing on how to protect it.
Yeah.
And the ISO 27001 is more focusing on how your company establish a system to manage the security in your business procedures.
Sure.
So the PCI DSS more focusing on the practical things, how they will give some compliance and standard, how you must configure your infrastructure, blah blah blah. You must configure your cryptography. You have to deploy what cryptographic mechanism in your transactions, and how to protect your coding, how to something like that. It's more practical. And the 27001, they're more focusing on you must have some procedure and policy in a high level to manage your company in a secure way. So that is different.
Right.
But the PCI DSS is a must that payment service provider to have. This is a must. This is a requirement of you before you become a payment facilitators. And then the 2701 is something like as my I see this as a body check of my company, because they will send They will send some auditor to our company once a year, and the PCI is more complicated. They will send some tester to do vulnerability scanning a quarter, and also they will have a penetration tester to test our system. It's most likely it's more practical.
Yeah. So I know AWS is listed on both the Visa Global Registry of Service Providers and the MasterCard Compliance Service Provider list. Is that very difficult to achieve? Were you able to find during your journey a lot of providers that are on both these lists?
Oh yes, because in the requirement, the 12th domain I think have 2 domain is belongs to something like AWS can provide service to let us fulfill it easier.
So the 12 domains is the 12 domains of the PCI DSS compliance.
Yes, something like they're more focusing on physical security and also the network security. Let me talk about the physical security first. And in the past, because we migrate our system to AWS in 2019, and before that we are doing our business, and our system is in our own hardware infrastructure in Hong Kong somewhere, the data center. But in the past, I think that it's very difficult to find a data center, because in Hong Kong there are not more than I think 3 to 4 data center can support PCI DSS and fully compiled with PCI. And even I find the data center which is compliant with PCI is quite far away, the locations, and then the cost is very high. So that is very difficult to find a place that lets us to handle the requirement. And even we find a data center is only just partial comply with the PCI. Something like for example, is their CCTV is not fulfill the requirement. It's not 90 days, they only support 30 days. If I want to increase to 90 days, I have to pay around 10,000 more a month. Something like that. And for the network security, most of the requirement is telling us my infrastructure should config like something like this, something like that. But now AWS is very easier for us to have easier configuration to fulfill that requirement. And some requirement is we have something like risk transfer to AWS, so some requirement we can ignore. so that we are more easier to let our business fulfill the requirement.
Yeah.
And now we move to AWS, so the man cost and maintenance cost is also lower than our own infrastructure, because in the past, when we go to audit every year, the auditor have to visit, have a mandate to visit the physical site in the data center.
Yeah.
So now we can just skip it. So the mandate cost is lower, and our operator can be lower, because in the past, even we deploy a hardware, we need 2 person, right? Yeah. The hardware is very, the rate is very high, something like that. And so I would like to talk about that is the business continuity is the most important thing in the payment industry. Because we are we have to keep our service is in a non-stop. So that AWS can help us to establish a non-stop and continuity service, because we set up our system and server in 2 different regions. One is AWS Hong Kong side, and another one is in Japan side. In the past, in Hong Kong, some of the company have to build up a backup site, right? It's also 27001's requirement. We have to build up a backup site. But in the past, most of the company build up their backup site is just have a duplicate system in their own office or data center.
So not really a full backup site.
Yes, it's fake backup site, something like that. Yes, you can imagine that if there is a fire issue or some earthquake, your building is crashed. But your backup site is just next to your production system. It's blocked. When there is some issue. But now, I think it's only World War or something like that, or something like the end of the world. Otherwise, our service will not stop.
Right, I see.
And
so you've mentioned a couple of things that the cloud could help you with, moving that service quicker. So you've mentioned business continuity. You've mentioned how you've mitigated some of the risk. Because you're using AWS, and AWS had the PCI DSS compliance already. Can you talk a little bit about the infrastructure side of things? How are you achieving that high availability on AWS? Okay,
now you can see in the picture is that we are building. As I mentioned, we have 2 sites. One is Hong Kong. One is Japan. We build up a duplicate network in single site, and we build up another duplicate site in Japan. And our database is, we're using some database technology to synchronize the production database and the backup database. So you can see in the picture. And another one is we are isolating the development sites. In the past, some of the Hong Kong technology company or some of the listing company I have worked for before, they just building the testing sites next to their production sites. Every time they have some issue or they block their system is because they have some problem during their testing or development. And now we have 2 different sites. We build up our development sites in the backup sites. If we really have some issue or some problem when we developing our system or testing, it will not affect our production system.
Right.
Yes, and it's very cost effective is if we build up exactly same hardware infrastructure with the production is very high cost, right?
Right.
But if we just have a cloud-based system because it's pay as you go. Yeah. We are building our testing sites in a very, very lower cost way method.
So you've mentioned your testing site is separated from the production site, even geographically, right? So the development site is actually located in the Tokyo region.
Yes.
But what about your developers? What about your people? Are they all in Hong Kong or are they scattered around the world?
Yes, they are all in Hong Kong because AWS is a cloud-based. We can go into the system everywhere.
Right.
Yes. And the first thing is even the unfortunately case is even the Hong Kong AWS site is down. I think the probability is very, very low because AWS is a very strong infrastructure, right? And even is blocked. The connection is broke. We will auto failure to the Japan sites, and we can keep our service as normal.
I see. So what other benefits did you discover while using AWS? So you mentioned a little bit about the cost, but what else did you discover during the journey to AWS?
Yeah, let me introduce one by one. And the most important thing is we as a FinTech company and we are a startup, we have to chasing the old player, the strong players. We have to deploy and deliver our new service as fast as possible. Yeah, because the technology grows very fast, right? And in the past, if we are using our own hardware infrastructures, and we have to deploy our service around 3 to 4 months. The purchasing hardware time is the most waste time things that we are facing. Because for example, our transaction is 100 times today, but tomorrow maybe is a holiday or something like a festival or a event. The transaction will increase in a very high rate. But if we are using our own infrastructure, I have to buy a new database or buy some RAM to stronger make our infrastructure more stronger. But now because AWS is a very scalable solution for us to handle it. So we increase our scalability. And also AWS Marketplace have many functions that can handle some function. We do not need to build up our own CRM and our own ERP, right? The marketplace have many this kind of solution, and I can accept this kind of partner to provide this kind of solution to us. Then we don't have to waste time to handle some operation thing. Our time can more focusing on how we deliver our own new solutions, something like that. And AWS have many sites in the world. And for next, and I've mentioned later, and we have our extension plan to let us become a worldwide payment service providers, and we are worldwide corporate wallet, something like that. So this AWS is a very good partner. And the remaining things I've talked before, I would not like to mention that.
So I see that you're working very closely with AWS. Obviously, a lot of your not only your payment system, but also I guess the peripheral systems around your company is also built on AWS. How is your overall experience so far on AWS?
I think it's very good because the consultant in AWS is very nice. They provide many advice to how we can build infrastructure in a very efficient way. And then AWS have many partners, some security partner providing us also the advice. And most likely, we are cooperating with AWS to build up some new technology, and everyone can see it later. I think it's very, very good to cooperate with AWS.
Great. So we're very anxious to see your new technologies on AWS. We're very happy to work with you as well. So what's next for GetPaid?
I think for next we will become we are planning to become a worldwide payment service provider, and our target is something like the Asia Pacific, maybe in Japan, maybe in Vietnam, and maybe in Thailand or Malaysia and Singapore. We can see that there are still many SME did not accept e-payment there, and we can see there is some synergy because Hong Kong SME or business always have some business in that place. We can build up our internal channel to let them handle their business or trading easier by using our platform. And I think AWS also have a site in Singapore.
Yes.
Maybe we will set up another system, another site in Singapore to serve our needs in South Asia.
Yeah. Wow, great. Thank you very much for your time, Alva.
Yeah.
I think it's a pleasure talking with you, and I'm glad you're using AWS so well. So this is the end of the session. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. So remember to fill out the survey, and I'll let you go to the next session. Thank you.